So hey guys, so now we're gonna be fixing the Voyages Keep. So as you know from Chicago, my transportation of this piece didn't end up working too well, and this back section of this ramp section ended up snapping in half, pretty much, or at least close to it. So we had a lot of fun trying to set it up, requiring almost like 4 or 6 people just to lift it up safely on the stands, just to be able to display the piece. And I had to come up with this kind of weird Technic structure just to barely hold it up, just for the show. So now we're going to be taking down all the top here, all the way down to the base, to fully redesign the structure, and then we're going to rebuild all the detail on the top. So let's begin. Alright, so now I just got this top section off, as you can see. That was going more toward the front of the ship. Now this is what we're looking like. Shouldn't be too bad to take apart, but we are gonna have to snip off the lighting connections inside to separate this middle piece. So I gotta snip those wires and have to rewire those later. Take this big piece off. And then as you can see here, I've already snipped a wire connection going into the lights down here. So this should just take off without ruining any of my LEDs. So I can just resolder them later. So without any further ado, let's get this middle section out. Alright, so we successfully got off that middle part with snipping off the wires. The whole piece stayed together as I moved it off. You can kind of see how it was connected on using a bunch of these Technic pins on top of the 2x2 kind of tile piece here. And those were connecting into the sides of 4x6 Technic bricks. But anyway, the frame is off, so I'll show you that. Ended up moving it up to the table over here. You can kind of see that I want to try to save this as much as I can to try to make a lot less work later. You can see all the ends of the wires I'll have to redo later. But for the most part, this piece should stay intact. So now it'll just be on to keep getting to the base, as well as try to flip this over to get the bottom details out now. Now I have a couple of these sidewalls on top to get off, which shouldn't be any issue. And then it's down to the bottom details. I was able to get this section out of the box and vertically, which I was kind of surprised at. But anyway, I was able to do it. So now it's time to get all of this bottom detail out on the sides around this ramp in the middle. And after we do that, then this middle ramp is going to have to get taken out so I can rebuild the entire frame. Okay, so now I've gotten all the bottom details off, and now I have all the old structure exposed to where I'm going to be making a lot of critical changes to this so that transport and setup, it'll actually stay together. And that's what the back looks like. And this is what the front looks like. Like, at least looking down on the inside, you would see. So, we have multiple critical adjustments here. As you can see, the frame up here, at least with the Technic brick, is very, very thin, especially compared to what I had down here, which I'm also going to add to while I have it open just to make it extra secure. So some of the adjustments are going to be lowering this Technic structure by a plate so that down below I can actually connect it using Technic beams into here. I'm gonna also make a lot more Technic bricks go across all the way. And then under this lip, there's me replacing all this brick in here with Technic brick, and also clamping it together with more Technic beams. So that's at least one of them. And as well as the Technic is going to extend all the way down into where I had my stands. That meaning the height, well, the depth that I add here, I need to subtract from the height of my stands to make sure it sits at the same height when assembling. And then I'm going to be doing something very similar up to the top. Again, using more of these Technic bricks, covering up a whole bottom length with those. But because of this ramp that I have here, the one this actually lowers, this is gonna jut out inside to here a little bit, so I just need to leave a little bit of room. And then I'll just need to make sure that I clamp the sides together, Technic brick back here, because this top part, that's where it broke at Chicago, so I really gotta make sure that this is gonna hold a lot better than it did. So without further ado, it's time to make some progress on the structure. Alright, so now we isolated out the ramp so I can work on the structure all around it. Now I just gotta rebuild the straight beam that goes across here that holds that ramp in, which is sitting right over here. Much more structurally sound than it was. And now, as well, to do the back side as well. All with Technic bricks, going all the way through. Should make it a whole lot better. And also a side note on the ramp, though still was fully functional. On here, we do have a lot of axle damage. So this one in particular is twisted, especially right here, as you can kind of see that big twist. And then something similar in the other one, but less significant. Okay, so now I finished building most of the frame on the bottom. As you can kind of see by this example here, that I have Technic bricks going all the way through, completing a complete square around this frame, including here into my stand spots. So like I said earlier, I'm going to have to shrink the stands by a brick and a plate. But now, all around there, these are 6x8 Technic bricks all the way around, and supported with those plates again. And then many places are like this, where I'll have some cutouts or at least Technic beams to kind of clamp the layers together. And especially here is important because that, as you can see, is where that ramp will connect, where that hinge is on the other side. You can kind of see it under this Technic brick layer I have. So that's being prepared. And then, see along the sides here, trying to change a lot of this detail. Not detail, but the structure, how the sides connect. Because before it was just the 1x4 Technic bricks, as you can see. But now I've added a full Technic brick layer across, and then I'm clamping it on a few points using those lift arms. And then that means I had to cut out the space for those lift arms in the side structure in detail, which will slide right on top of here. And then I'm going to use the same method before, using these snot bricks. Those will line up perfectly to these to where I can plate it over. So it's connected in multiple directions, making it pretty secure. So now I have both of these built up for each side, as you can see. And now it's time to put those back on and start getting the ramp back in place. Alright, so now you can see that I have both the sides back on. And now also how these will line up perfectly with the plates I have on top, which those line up so that I can put on the big middle section I took off for spare, so I wouldn't have to rebuild that as well. Sitting over there on the table over there, which has the plates under those Technic bricks. Alright, now we got the big ramp back in place, as well as the big middle section here flipped horizontally now, and temporarily will be on pickup brick cups until I can assemble it with the rest of the ship. But now I'm going to just do a little bit of weight test after I restructured this here, and so that I can redesign a tank to roll on and off of this ramp here when it's lifting up and down. So when I did the weight test for this, it couldn't hold too much more weight than, say, the ramp itself, and with this a good chunk of my minifigures that I had on the ramp, I couldn't do too much more than that. So I'm going to try to design a very lightweight, almost like scout tank, drive on and off of the ramp. It's going to be pretty small. But the reason why I'm choosing that over redoing that mechanism back there is because if I introduce a bigger pulley system than what I have, then I won't be able to make the kind of like illusion, I guess, that there's like a big corridor going down from the side of the loading ramp through to the barracks. And that would end up ruining the interior look I want to go for. So I'm choosing to build a smaller tank. So now the next step is now going to be putting this middle section that I saved back on and trying to redesign where these wires for lights connect through here, and the little corners here, and a little bit here where it's going to hang off. So let's get to it. So in this time lapse, I'm trying to attach the middle portion that I have saved back onto the ship. But in this time lapse, I'd like to talk about a few things about the building series for the Alien Cruiser, the future videos I have planned, and an upload schedule for real this time, because life things have gotten in the way before, but now I gotta be able to put more dedication to it like I want to. And then I'll talk about what's been going on a little bit if you're curious. So first, with the building series, this is still going to be continued. I just haven't felt like I have gotten significant progress yet between fixing the Voyages Keep, as well as between some life things. And so that's going to be coming out very, very soon, probably within a week or two. And speaking of more future videos, I have been building some smaller or medium-sized mocks that I've also built digital instructions for. So those will be separate videos as well. And I'm planning on incorporating building challenges into my YouTube content. So once those come around, probably again within 2 to 3 weeks for sure, I will be explaining that more in depth then. But in general, as a life update, I've been doing 16 to 18 credits a semester for college, around working full time between 36 to 48 hours a week, sometimes more. And I'm still trying to get building done in between all that. And like I've said, now that's changing so that I can dedicate more of my efforts to what I want to do, Lego, and that my dedication won't be split too thin anymore. And in terms of the upload schedule, I'd like to upload for sure once a week, possibly 2 times a week for now, just to start things off. And then Saturday video, I would plan on doing the building series update of whatever large project I'm doing, which right now is the alien cruiser. And then the other video will be either like a building challenge or another mock I've done. Alright, so now that we've gotten the middle section back on, in which took a lot longer than I thought, we're going to be working on the interior toward the back of the gear area that lifts up and down the ramp, as well as just touching up on the inside. And then we'll be combining this piece with the rest of the ship to finish the side features and details of the rest of the ship in this section. Sorry guys, you can see already now we have a lot more progress in fixing this middle section. So now I've got more tables down here to prepare to fully set up the ship. So when I fix all the details around the edges, it transitions very well. So that's setting up this back piece here. It came out pretty fully intact. You can see the boxes over there that we used for it. And it sits in there just like it does on these stands. So after it came out pretty well, set it up on the stands. And now we're in the process of connecting both of these sections together so that these bigger pins down here are fully hidden inside and these edges are flush. Then I can start the redesign. This is kind of like wing area. Once I get the escape pod section back on, we'll figure out all the structure and the dimensions I need. And then, as you can see in the front now, we don't have a big wired mess like this. Because now I ended up fixing up all the wiring and resoldering them after I had to cut them off to take this middle part I saved off. So now all that's connected up, and then as well all the details are filled in. So now we're going to focus on designing this area again Now that is actually very secure. They're not going to snap like it did at Chicago. Okay, so now we got the command bridge back on the back piece, hanging over into the ramp section. And now you can see also that we have a new kind of platform. So now I've secured between the top there and underneath, and clamping them together with these Technic beams, a support structure that I can just let this slide into place. Then I can put some axles in on the side, so that way it locks in and it won't come out. And it's easy to take out and just slide. So then the next part, the reason why I ended up putting this back on is so that I can use it as a guideline for making this opening like transition nicely between all the different pieces. So now that's the next part. Alright guys, so now I have all the angles and curvature mapped out with stacks of 1x1 bricks. So now I'm going to be able to actually get the transition and blend that I want in between these sections. So now that's what we're going to do next. So now we have the front barracks section attached back on, so I can next work on these wings again so that they're more structurally sound and it's have a better interior in general, as they always kept flopping down. Now I'm going to try to fix that. They add a much more detailed interior in there. So right now you can kind of see some of the wiring. I should do a better job in hiding that, as well as maybe fix some of the details in the back so that they're not like as like, right now they're too greebly in my opinion. So I'm gonna put some more smoother edges in there. Well, that's the next part. But now, before that, I'm just gonna show you guys the new progress. So underneath here, you'll see this is all re-detailed. Oh, it's kind of hard to see with the lighting here, but it's all transitioned well. And now we have the entire new like wing toward the back of the ramp and in front of the engine, in between the command center. And what's really cool about this redesign is that this whole like angled wall comes out for transport, so I can take these apart, as well as a new feature that I haven't included before, which is, you guessed it, a boarding shaft that slides in and out very smoothly. Taking off that front door in there, now you can get a nice clear shot through the ship where the tank will be resting in there. And when you're done, it's hard to do with one hand here, but that pushes nice and smoothly back in. And overall, it blends very nicely with the rest of the panels. So for now, I have the top panels taken off so I can finish accessing the inside later on. But also, all the underside is fixed. So all the details are blended very well together with kind of these like folding panels hiding the structure, so that I can then access those red pins underneath to pull them out and take the section out. But now it's time to get to work on these wings. as they need some work.
I forgot to show you the wings in this clip, but me and my parents are in the process of disassembling the ship into the wooden crates, and it's a pretty big challenge to make sure it goes in right because it weighs a lot, and you have to really get it just right in the wooden posts that replace the stands in the box. But after that, just pack it up pretty well with all different cushioning on the sides to make sure that no pieces fall off, at least not no big pieces, so that it can travel securely to shows. Let's thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please comment down below, like this video, and subscribe for more building series episodes, as well as building challenges to come, as well as different mocks I've made on Bricklink's studio. So, thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.